Genesis 15, verse 1. After this, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision. Do not be afraid, Abram. I'm your shield, your very great reward. Verse 2. But Abraham said, Sovereign Lord, what can you give me since I remain childless? And the one who inherit my estate is Eliezer of Damascus. And Abraham said, You have given me no children, so a servant in my household will become my heir. Then the word of the Lord came to him, This man will not be your heir, but a son who is your own flesh and blood will he be your heir. He took him outside and said, Look up at the sky and count the stars, if indeed you can count them. And he said to them, So shall your offspring be. Abraham believed the Lord, and he credited it to him as righteousness. The Lord said to him, I'm the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land to take possession of it. So this is a tremendous story about Abraham's promise that he received from God, because Abraham's a little bit restless like all of us when we go through hard times and uncertainties and times long. Abraham waited for a long time for a child, and he was still childless, and his wife was over 90 years old. But God spoke to him, Do not be afraid. But notice, I want you to pick up, this is a very powerful line. Do not be afraid, Abram. I'm your shield. First of all, if you want to consistently persist in the promise of God, God is saying, don't be afraid. Fear is number one crippling effect of the promises of God. When we begin to be swayed by public opinions or people's opinions or circumstances around us, when we see nothing much happening, like Abraham just exactly not feeling anything happening at all. Because as far as his wife getting pregnant, and looking, the days go by, especially God called him, Genesis 12, I'll give you a great nation, your descendants shall be as many as the stars. And it's just, he must be thinking, I'm like looking at his old wife and he himself, old man. So but God said, don't be afraid. You know, God's promises always cripples any thought of fear. First of all, we must not be fearful. We must land in the promises of God. Why we should not be fearful? Now, that's even bigger line here. He said, do not be afraid, Abraham. I'm your shield. The reason we can be not afraid and be worried, be anxious, is because God is our shield. What does it mean, God is our shield? It means God is a protector. You know, the army sends darts at you. Your shield is to block the enemy's darts at us. So that is a shield. God is a rock. No matter what Satan throws at you and your questions and all this, hang in there, because God said, I'm your shield. You know, and the next one is your very great reward. God didn't say, I'm going to send you shields. God said, I am your shield. And God said, if you hang on in there and you feel, just like David in the book of Psalms, always feeling the sense of God's protection. And God said, God said, I will be your very great reward. Not just great reward, but very great reward. So folks, the way to go is a long journey with God, the long way. Go far, go a long way, go long with God. Don't stop somewhere, because a very great reward is coming. And the emphatic thing, strange thing is, I'm not going to send you a big, great reward. I am your great reward. This is the all-encompassing message of Christianity, that if you can get that, if you have God, you have everything. You can have the best blessings as peripheral. They're only peripheral, but you don't have God, you got nothing. Everything centers and focuses on God. I am your very great reward.